Hey YouTube, this is Siren Frost coming at you again with another deck profile from the newest support that we got from the Fires collection. This is basically the revival deck profiles to most of the clans or the cards I used to play, and been waiting for their opportunity to have more support in them. So this time we're gonna go by nations, and this time in United Sanctuary is Oracle Think Tank. We're playing the Oracle Scarlet Witch / CoCo build and CooCoo build, Stride build. Why build? I think about those Huckles for some reason. Anyways, moving on. Now everyone knows about Scarlet Witch CoCo's deck profiling is that it's always cards that, you know, that helps you get rid of a soul, have a soulless soul, basically. So, yeah. Without any further ado, let's get on the deck profile, and my starting vanguard is, of course, Little Witch LuLu. What's fun about her is that she doesn't come out until you ride onto a grade 3, so, and then with her other Soul Blast, you can draw a card. So, she does help you get the non-soul kind of thing going, for your other abilities. Now, this deck's also 12 crits. Like, most of the new cards I have are mostly 12 crit decks, so, because that's my personal preference on most of these cards, because that's what I'm very accustomed to. We're playing 4 copies of Lozenge Magus. She is a Forerunner herself, so she can be your starting vanguard if you ever wanted her to. But, basically, whenever she boosts a unit, whenever it attacks, and when she boosts it, that unit gets plus 3,000. And at the end of turn, this card goes back in the deck and you shuffle. So that's why I like her in this deck, or any oracles for that matter, except for Battle Sisters. Next, we're playing 12 crits, of course. 4 Battle Sister Gingers, 4 Psychic Birds, and Assault Dive Eagle. I know you're all probably thinking of if I should have gone to a better critical trigger than this, because this does help you get the soul in, but I'm mainly just using it because, you know, I just rather use that card and instead of using another card that I just don't really have at the moment. So not until set 5 comes out, then we'll talk. But in the meantime, for grade 1s, I'm playing 4 copies of Emerald Witch LaLa. Whenever she's called to the rearguard circle, if you have no cards in the soul, you discard a card and you draw a card. So she helps you get that more draw power. And then we got 4 Stride Enablers. Divine Sword Ame-no-Murakumo. I was thinking about actually building a Susanna Will Stride deck, but I don't know. I kind of regret ever got rid of my Susanna Wills now. But oh well, it happens. Next, we're playing 4 copies of Battle Sisters Chocolats. I don't have all 4 G Perfect guards, otherwise this deck would be super broken as hell, you know, by doing counter charging and all that stuff. But these will have to do for now until I get those cards. Because, you know, sadly, Battle Sisters are both Battle Sisters, and that, you know, the other ones for this one, but that's just me. Finally, we're playing 2 copies of Battle Sister Omelet. If there's no cards in the soul, she becomes a 10k attacker. So just your typical 10k. Next, we're playing 4 copies of the grade 2s. We're playing 4 copies of Rock Witch GaGa, aka Lady Gaga. I know you're all probably gonna be like, you know, bad mouthing about this card, especially because of her attack and, you know, part of her ability. But I'm playing it mainly for her ability as well. Whenever this unit attacks, if you do not have any cards in the soul, choose a card from your hand and put it in your deck. And also you draw a card too. So you draw first and you put 1 card back at the bottom of the deck. So even though she's a 7k attacker, she does come in handy. So she's like Scornful Knight Giva in a way. Except she's a Generation Break and she's not. Next, we're playing the 12k soulless 12k attackers, Battle Sister Glace. As long as you have no cards in the soul, she gets 3,000 power. So, and then finally, we're playing 3 copies of Weather Girl Ramone. Whenever she is sent to the drop zone by during your opponent's main phase, during your opponent's turn, whenever she is sent to the drop zone, you draw a free card. Next for grade 3s, we're playing the new witch, Red Rose Red Witch CoCo. I'm gonna say it like that because Rose Red Witch. It sounds like kind of a bad thing. So, anyways, what she does, you counterblast 1. When this unit is placed in a Vanguard Vanguard circle, if you have a Vanguard with Witch in this card name and the number of cards in your soul is 1 or less, you may pay the cost. If you do, draw 2 cards and choose a card from your hand and discard it. So, and she's 11k attacker, so I think the best way you can probably, do this ability as well is if you ride onto Scarlet Witch CoCo first, and then Scarlet Witch can just be your 1 card in the soul in order to get that ability off. So that to me is a big plus right there. Then again, I haven't played this build in like ever, so I do miss witches, guys. I mean, I still love witches. For grade 3s, finally, we're playing the Scarlet Witch CoCo. Whenever she is placed in the Vanguard circle, as long as you have one or less cards in the soul, you draw 2 cards from your deck. And also you counterblast 2. So I'm sorry if I forgot that one. And then her continuous ability is if there's no cards in her soul, she becomes a 13k attacker in a Vanguard circle. So that's, to me, is a good jest. So yeah, that is the main deck, guys. There will be a full deck list in the comment section down below about this whole thing. So yeah. Now for G units, we're playing the newest witch, Floral Witch Master Mimi. I love the artwork. First of all, she is such beautiful beauty. Anyways, her skill is choose a witch card in its name from your hand and discard it. So when this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, if you have a heart with witch in its name, you may pay the cost. If you do, your opponent may choose 2 cards from his or her hand and discard them. If he or she does not discard 2 cards, choose one of your opponent's Vanguards, deal 1 damage, and during that damage check, all triggered effects are nullified. So she literally blocks off nullify abilities, or trigger abilities. So whenever that happens, and if your opponent cannot discard 2 cards, I choose one of your Vanguards, or I choose your Vanguard, I can deal 1 damage to you, and that, if it's a trigger, it can't be activated. So that is a big plus right there. So, and the fun thing about her is, you don't actually have a soulless build in order to use her ability. All you have to do is discard 1 card with witch in his name, and that's it. You got the ability. So I think that's going to be a big plus right there. Also, next we're playing 2 copies of Sword Deity of Battle Break Takemikazuchi. He's a G Persona Blast ability. Counterblast 2 and choose a face-up card with Takemichi in his name. Takemikazuchi in his name. And if the number of cards in your G zone is 2 or more, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, search for 2 cards from among them, put them into your hand, and put the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order. And this ability cannot be used for the rest of that turn. So, like I said, he's just only in here for the extra draw power, and it won't hurt to stack your deck maybe a little bit, depending on what situations you have. So anyways, for the last one, we're playing 4 copies of Soaring Auspicious Beast Kirin. Whenever this unit when the unit attack hits a Vanguard, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, search for 1 card from among them, put them in your hand, and put the rest in the bottom of the deck in order. So this also lets you add cards to your hand. Like Takemikazuchi adds 2 cards to your hand, and Kirin only asks or gets you 1. So you're basically creating a very huge defensive hand by using several cards in this deck that is beyond recognition. That's why, and you know what's funny though, the very first deck I ever did play when I first started playing Vanguard was Oracle Think Tank. But during that time, it was Amaterasu. Now it moved on to Scarlet Witch CoCo. So it's nice to bring this deck back to life. I owe these guys a lot, so I owe them one. So, anyways, guys, that is the deck profile for my Oracle Witches. I'm so glad you guys, you guys can watch this and give it a chance. And if you guys have your okay, hold on. If you guys have your thoughts and opinions, let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this build, and see what the changes this can happen, and all that good stuff. I'm a little tongue-tied, so sorry very much. Anyways, this is Siren Frost, and thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next deck profile video. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, thumbs up for it, and rate it, and comment down below, and give your ideals and opinions and advice, and see what you guys think of this build. And of course, there will be a full deck list down in the description down below, so you guys can go on and check out that as well. Anyways, guys, this is Siren Frost. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next profile. Bye!